Good morning students. Today in this video we will see some important topics from the chapter reproduction. So the reproduction chapter we have different topics like reproduction in different organisms, in unicellular organisms, reproduction in plants and reproduction in human beings. So in this particular video we are going to discuss a few important topics in the form of questions and their answers discussed in detail. So first we see the reproduction in unicellular organisms and in plants, right? So the first question is, Paramecium reproduces by. Paramecium reproduces by. So Paramecium is a protozoan. It is a protozoa. It's a single celled organism. And how it reproduces, in which method it reproduces is the question, and we need to find the answer for that. Okay. So Paramecium, it can reproduce either by fission, binary fission, multiple fission or sexual reproduction, right? So these are the different methods of reproduction. In which mode of reproduction it reproduces? Paramecium reproduces by all the three means. It can reproduce by all the three means. What are the three means? Ikkada three means enti ikkada three types of reproduction: binary fission, multiple fission, sexual reproduction. Moodu kuda cheyagalugtundi depending upon the situation, depending upon the conditions, right? But it can carry out the three types of reproduction. Binary fission ante organism, it splits into two, that is binary fission. A single organism, it divides into two, it is binary fission. Binary means two, fission means division. Multiple fission, one organism splits into many, that is called multiple fission. So it can carry out the multiple fission also. And sexual reproduction, you know what is sexual reproduction? It is the fusion of male and female gametes. So there is a mixing of genetic material and new individuals are produced, right? So it can reproduce by all the three means. So that is the answer is, it can reproduce by binary fission, multiple fission and sexual reproduction. The second question, the organism that reproduces by fragmentation. So you have to give an example of an organism which reproduces by fragmentation. Fragments means pieces, chinna chinna mukkalu. Ye organism chinna chinna mukkaluga avadam valla reproduce chestundi. You need to give an example. One example is asked here. Telusa meeku edaina example? So the answer is Spirogyra. So Spirogyra, it is an algae group ki chendina oka organism. It is an algae, Spirogyra. So ఈ Spirogyra fragments కింద విడిపోతే కనుక ఈ fragments అన్నీ కూడా they can grow into a new Spirogyra. So the body of the organism is, it is cut into fragments, then each fragment can grow into a new organism. This is called as fragmentation, reproduction by fragmentation. So only Spirogyra na lekapothe inka evana organisms unnaya? There are some. Molds also reproduce by that way. Molds, bread mold. So mold is a fungus. Molds are like very thin filaments, right? So mostly they are found on the stale food, spoiled food. చెడిపోయిన ఆహార పదార్థాల మీద పెరిగే బూజు, that is mold. It also reproduces by fragments. And lichens also reproduce by fragments. And flatworms, they are the parasitic worms. Flatworms అనేవి parasites కింద ఉంటాయి humans లోను other animals లో. These worms also, if they are cut into pieces, they are divided into bits, fragments, each fragment can grow into a new organism. So what are the examples of fragmentation here? We see that Spirogyra, mold, lichens and flatworms. So the next question, which organisms reproduce by parthenogenesis? Which organisms reproduce by parthenogenesis? So what is parthenogenesis? Parthenogenesis is a process in which seedless fruits are produced. So in some plants we see that we get seedless fruits, the fruits which do not have seeds, seedless grapes, seedless watermelon. So these are produced by a method called as parthenogenesis. In this parthenogenesis there is no fusion of male and female gamete. So without the fusion of male and female gametes, if the ovules are developed, then we get the seedless fruits. In the same way, here the question is which animals? So that means, are there any animals that reproduce without the fusion of male gamete and female gamete? Yes, there are certain animals that reproduce without the fusion of male and female gametes, right? So what is that? We have to give the examples here. That is the answer. We have to give the examples as an answer. Here we have rotifers are the best examples which carry out parthenogenesis in animals. Animals lo parthenogenesis chese organisms rotifers. What are these rotifers? Rotifers are zooplankton. We know what are zooplankton. Zooplankton means very tiny animals that live in the water. They are the very tiny animals, microscopic animals living in the water are called as zooplankton. So in this zooplankton there is a category called as rotifers, and these rotifers they carry out the parthenogenesis. So apart from these rotifers, are there any other animals that reproduce by this parthenogenesis? Yes, they are. Wasps, honeybees, ants. In these creatures also sometimes we see parthenogenesis. Sometimes ants they produce without fertilization, right? So in animals also we find this parthenogenesis by which animals reproduce. Let's see the next question. In which method of vegetative propagation thousands of plants are produced in less time? In which method of vegetative propagation thousands of plants are produced in very less time, right? So there are different methods of vegetative propagation like layering, grafting, stem cutting, root cutting, all this. But in which method thousands of plants are grown in less time? The answer is tissue culture. So tissue culture, we are collecting only the tissue, a group of cells from a plant. We are just collecting a group of cells, tissue, right? So in tissue culture, from a plant, a group of active cells are collected, and these cells are grown into a new plant. But how do they grow? They cannot put this group of cells directly in the soil. If you put a group of cells, a bunch of cells from a plant and put it in the soil, the cells will catch the fungus and they die. They cannot grow into a plant. So these cells are carefully taken into some kind of special equipment. So these special equipment, it contains some medium to grow the cells, to grow the tissue. And this medium, it contains some enzymes in it. And this medium is kept in a controlled condition, hygienic condition, germ-free condition. It should be free from fungus, virus, bacteria. Otherwise, the tissue will be infected. So in such conditions, this tissue is carefully grown into a plant. But just by collecting few group of cells, you can grow so many plants. So you will be growing thousands of plantlets. Once they reach certain stage, then they can be planted in the soil. In this way, in very less time, thousands of plants are propagated. So there is a plant, it's a very rare plant, its qualities are good, its production is good, everything is good. you want the same plant in 1000 in numbers, then you cannot follow the stem cutting or root cutting. Then you can take the tissue of that and you can grow a number of plants similar to this plant. So this is the advantage of tissue culture. And do you know what are the different plants that are grown by tissue culture? So they use rubber trees. They have very good commercial value. Rubber, cassava, yam, sweet potato and tomato. In all these plants the tissue culture is applied. Not only this, many more plants which have great commercial value, in that case tissue culture is applied. Let us see the next question. Which plant propagates by natural vegetative propagation of stem? Naturally, it's not the artificial vegetative propagation. Example we have to give that. We can take the answer Vallisneria. So Vallisneria, it has got a weak stem. So this weak stem, it touches the soil, and so the part of the stem at which a node is present, if that part is exposed to the soil, there it produces roots. And if the stem is cut into two, then the cut part, it can grow into a new plant. So in this way, Vallisneria can propagate through its stem, right? So we call these kind of stems as stolons. They have weak stems and they produce the new roots at the nodes and they propagate, right? Let's see the next question. Now the next question is, in the process of grafting, the part of the plant that is fixed to the soil is called as. So in grafting, two plant parts are used. So two plants are joined together, that is grafting. Now here the question is, the part of the plant that is fixed to the soil. So one part is fixed to the soil, the other part is brought and attached. Okay. So what is the bottom part, the part that is fixed to the soil, called as? It is called as stalk. The part of the stem that is fixed to the soil is called as stalk. The part of the stem that is brought from some other place and attached, that is called as scion. Scion and stalk. So these are the 6 questions that we have discussed from the first part of that reproductive system. So we have one more question and you have to find the answer and post the answer in the comment section. So here the question is, how the jasmine plant is propagated? In which method? By which method the jasmine plant is propagated? You find this answer and write it in the comment section. So if you like the video, please like it and share it with your friends and subscribe to the channel. So we'll meet again in the next video with the remaining set of questions from reproduction. Good morning students. Today we are going to discuss some important topics from the chapter reproduction. So in the reproduction chapter, the first part we have discussed in the previous video a few important questions from the first part. Now in this part we discuss the second half of the lesson, the important topics in the form of questions. So let us see the first question. Rhizopus reproduces by. Rhizopus is a fungus. It reproduces by. How it reproduces? We see that Rhizopus, it produces spores. Rhizopus produces spores. Spores are the small, very light reproductive units of fungus. So these spores, they are very light. They are easily carried by the wind and they are dispersed. But how these spores are produced in Rhizopus? The Rhizopus, they have got a special structure. They have got a filament-like structure, fiber-like structure. So on the top they have a blob-like structure in which they have a special sac called as sporangium. Sporangium is a special sac in which spores are developed. So spores are developed in the sporangium. Once this sporangium is mature, it bursts and opens out. When it opens, the spores are exposed to air, they are carried by the wind and they get propagated. So the Rhizopus, it reproduces by producing spores. Spore formation is the mode of reproduction in Rhizopus. So we'll see the next question. Examples of animals in which external fertilization takes place. We need to give examples. The question is examples for the animals in which external fertilization takes place. So we know that sexual reproduction involves fertilization, the fusion of male gamete and female gamete. But in fact, if you see generally in case of animals like mammals, the fertilization takes place in the body of the female. In the body of the female, the male gamete fuses with the female gamete and the formation of zygote takes place. That is called as internal fertilization. When it happens inside the body, you call it as internal fertilization. But if it happens in the outside atmosphere, outside the body, you call it as external fertilization. That means the fusion of male and female gametes takes place outside the body. It doesn't take place either in the male body or the female body, it takes place outside the body. It's called as external fertilization. In which organisms we see this external fertilization? We see this external fertilization in frogs and fishes. So the frogs and fishes, they release the reproductive cells into their surrounding. Frogs, they live in the water, they release their egg cells in the water. The male frogs release the sperm cells into the water. Their fusion takes place in the water. So it is called as external fertilization. Examples are fish and frog. Let's see the next question. What is the pouch-like organ present in the male reproductive system? So what is the pouch-like organ present in the human male reproductive system? So it is called as scrotum. It is a pouch-like organ in which testes are located. So the main function of the testis is to produce the sperm cells, that is the spermatogenesis. So here the process of spermatogenesis, it needs certain special conditions. That is the reason why the testes are not present inside the body cavity. They are present outside the body cavity in the scrotum. So why they are present in the scrotum, not within the body? The reason is the spermatogenesis, the process of sperm formation, it needs some special temperature. It cannot take place in the body temperature. The body temperature is little higher for the spermatogenesis. It needs minus some 2 to 3 degrees less temperature for the process of spermatogenesis compared to the body temperature. That is the reason why the testes are present outside the body in a pouch called as scrotum. What are the accessory glands of male reproductive system? What are the accessory glands of male reproductive system? So what are the glands that we see in the picture of male reproductive system? By labeling we can see that there are two important accessory glands called as prostate gland. It is a single gland, and a pair of bulbourethral glands. These bulbourethral glands are also called as Cowper's glands. So prostate gland and Cowper's glands. These glands, they secrete some fluid. This fluid, it plays a very important role. What is the function of this fluid? So we see that the sperm cells are formed in the testis. There we see small tubules called as seminiferous tubules. Then they are connected to the vasa efferentia, epididymis, and from there it comes out through a special duct called as vas deferens. This vas deferens, it is carrying the sperm cells. On the way, the sperm cells, they receive some fluid from the prostate gland and bulbourethral glands. So this fluid, it provides nutrients for the sperm cells. It helps in their mobility. So for that purpose, the fluids are added to the sperm cells. So now all together called as semen, and it is excreted through and it is sent out through the urethra. So these are the two accessory glands, prostate gland and Cowper's glands. They help in the secretion of certain fluids in the male reproductive system. Name the hormone that control the functioning of male reproductive system. So the male reproductive system is controlled by male hormone. Do you know what is that hormone? It is testosterone. Testosterone is the male reproductive hormone. So that is produced by the testis, and it helps in the development of male reproductive organs, functioning of male reproductive hormones, and it also helpful for the development of secondary sexual characteristics in males. So secondary sexual characteristics in males are developed by the Action of male reproductive hormone, that is testosterone, right? What is the length of seminiferous tubules? What is the length of seminiferous tubules? So seminiferous tubules are present inside the testis, that they are responsible for the production of sperm cells. So what is the length of it? 80 centimeters. The length of the seminiferous tubules is 80 centimeters. So the seminiferous tubules are the tubules present inside the testis, and these tubules, they are joined together to form the vasa efferentia, and it forms the epididymis. So from the epididymis it comes out as the vas deferens, right? So let's see the next question. So now see the last question. You have to find answer for this question and post it in the comment box. The question is, from which age the spermatogenesis begins in males? So at which age the spermatogenesis begins in males? You have to tell that age, right? So if you know the answer, please write it in the comment section. If you like the video, please like it and share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe this channel. And if you want to see the first part of it, you can find the link in the description given below.